What's a quote that permanently changed the way you look at things? There's a Buddhist quote, "Don't believe everything you think." People don't think about you as much as you imagine they do. It's easy to fool someone. It's hard to convince them that they've been fooled. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. John Shedd. The first draft is just you telling yourself the story. Terry Pratchett. I'm not sure why this quote struck me so hard, but it completely changed the way I approach writing. Just get your ideas down in run-on sentences and asides to yourself, and loads of question marks at parts you haven't figured out yet. It took me more than 30 years to realize that a first draft isn't just a rough draft of the final draft. It's a map for yourself and no one else. Resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it is a quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I'll try again tomorrow." Marianne Radmacher. I came across this a long time ago, at a point in life that I really needed this lesson. It's okay if I feel sad and resigned, if my depression beat me for today and I wasn't able to function. I didn't fail. I'm not weak. I will try again tomorrow. When I became a man, I put away childish things, including the fear of childishness and the desire to be very grown up. C.S. Lewis. The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before. That's the deal. C.S. Lewis. You might be the sweetest peach on the tree, but some people just don't like peaches. This helped me get over my lifelong desire to be liked by everyone and allowed me to focus on becoming someone I actually liked. There's not a lot of things worth caring about. Told to me by a close friend, and it really helped me get over my insecurities and self-consciousness. Socializing is just like any skill. You need to practice before you're good at it. My mom comforting me when I was struggling to make friends. Graveyards are full of irreplaceable people. That quote helped me stop going down the path of working myself to death because my job needs me. That mountain you've been carrying, you're only supposed to climb. This really helped me overcome a lot of traumatic experiences and difficult chapters in my life. I hope it helps someone else out there. The axe forgets, the tree remembers. A Zimbabwean proverb. People don't forget how they were treated. That's why it's so important to be kind. It's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness. That is life. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. You can't blame a blind person for being blind. You just don't let them drive your car. We have to realize a lot of stuff in life is beyond our control. We have to learn to live with it, the good and the bad. Honey, I hope it's the worst thing that ever happens to you. From my dad when I was complaining about something. He probably didn't intend for it to be deep or anything, but it puts things into perspective. I think of it all the time. I visited Pearl Harbor this week, and the one that struck me was there were many acts of heroism that day, not all of them recorded. It reminds me that even when nobody is watching, it's still important to put your best foot forward. Just because you lost me as a friend doesn't mean you gained me as an enemy. I still want to see you eat, just not at my table. And now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. John Steinbeck, East of Eden. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. Mark Twain. I found it on a workbook for anxiety disorders. I wish it need not have happened in my time, said Frodo. So do I, said Gandalf. and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Your kid isn't giving you a hard time, they're having a hard time. The only way out is through. A long time ago, I was meeting two women on the sidewalk, and just as we passed each other, I heard this one sentence from one of them. You don't notice progress in your life because you are always raising the bar. Everyone is somebody else's weirdo. End of BoJack Season 2. It gets easier. Every day it gets easier. But you gotta do it every day. That's the hard part. You cannot convince people to love you. That is an absolute rule. No one will ever give you love because you want him or her to give it. Real love moves freely in both directions. Don't waste your time on anything else. Cheryl Strayed. You train people how to treat you, unconsciously or not. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. This helped a lot with my guilt and burgeoning martyr complex. I can do anything, but I can't do everything. Not sure the exact quote, but don't play chess with the pigeon. It'll just knock over the pieces, crap all over the board, and then strut around like it won the game. In reference to arguing with unreasonable people who refuse to and/or are incapable of considering viewpoints outside their own and employ logical fallacies to justify their position. Assume whoever you're listening to knows something you don't. Paraphrased, but when people act crazy, they're either actually crazy, which is unlikely, or there's a good reason for their behavior that you just haven't figured out yet. Dr. David Burns, in his book, Feeling Good Together. It's an excellent book about getting along with people and trying to understand them. It's worth mentioning that, in my quote, crazy really refers to surprising or unreasonable behavior, not genuine mental illness. And good reason refers more to an explanation for their behavior. The point of the quote is not to write people off because you don't understand them. Worrying is a waste of your imagination. I saw it spray painted on a sidewalk somewhere. Be afraid, but do it anyway. Carrie Fisher. Don't let a wishbone grow where a backbone should be. It's no use wasting time worrying what other people think about you. No one is thinking about you. And remember to take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. I've been living up to those ideals recently, and I feel like I have just started living. When people show you who they are, believe them. Maya Angelou. There's a lot of narcissism and self-hatred. David Foster Wallace. If you are lonely when you're alone, you are in bad company. Jean-Paul Sartre. The bee doesn't waste its time trying to convince the fly that honey is better than shit. Draw a monster. Why is it a monster? I understand there's a guy inside me who wants to lay in bed, smoke weed all day, and watch cartoons and old movies. My whole life is a series of strategies to avoid and outwit that guy. Anthony Bourdain. Worrying only means you suffer twice. Just because it's not your fault doesn't mean it's not your responsibility. Honesty without kindness is brutality. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. If everyone around you is an asshole, Maybe you are the asshole. Let go or be dragged. An old Zen proverb I heard at a meditation class. It really changed the way I let myself worry about things. Never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity. Hanlon's razor. Not everyone's out to get you. There are a lot of stupid people in the world. There are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Led Zeppelin. If you're trying to break a habit, don't say, "This is the last time I'm doing it," to yourself. Instead say, "This is the first time I'm not doing it." Don't put off the important in favor of the urgent. Do you listen or just wait to speak? We're just an advanced breed of monkeys on a minor planet of a very average star, but we can understand the universe. That makes us something very special. Stephen Hawking. From my therapist. Don't know where she got it. When you're the ocean, you don't have to be afraid of the waves. I remember this when feeling overwhelmed. Today is the oldest you've ever been in your life and the youngest you'll ever be again. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Viktor Frankl. You're going to make a lot of people mad doing what's right for you. The point of living is to live. There's no other reason. Yu Hua from the novel To Live. Regret always comes later. My father always says this. I don't know where he gets this from, but a lot of good things happened in my life just because of this. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not who someone else is today. We are the universe trying to understand itself. This too shall pass. There's a German saying that goes, whoever fights can lose. Whoever doesn't fight has already lost. Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. Mother Teresa. If you got through this entire video, please share any life-changing quotes you know. As always, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.